Hi there. My name is Michael Varner. I'm the owner and operator of Varner's Crafts. I make wreaths, floral arrangements, jewelry, and I sew and make clothes. So I do a lot of garment sewing, a lot of female garment sewing, dresses and things like that. But today I'm going to talk about face masks. Right now we are in that coronavirus epidemic, and a lot of people are needing masks. Those that still have to go out out and about instead of being locked down. So this is just a tutorial about how to make them real simple. There's two different ways for me. I use a serger for one way, and then I do a hem, a seam with a zigzag stitch kind of thing just to lock it in. So I'm going to show you how to do both. Um, and hopefully learn and you can make some for yourself, for your neighborhood, for the hospitals. They're always donating, needing donations. Um, so here's what you need. You need two pieces of fabric, cut 8 by 8. You can use a cotton blend, linen blend, muslin, a thicker kind of fabric like that. I even use light canvas. That's what this is. This is a light canvas, kind of almost like upholstery fabric in a sense. Just it's a little bit more tough, more thick. So you can use a lot of things. Just remember it's going to be on your face and you have to breathe. For the back, I use a light colored, like white or something like that. This is linen. I like linen because it has like these fibers in it that actually are like a natural filtration system. Then you're going to need a piece of 8 by 8 cut interfacing. This is fusible interfacing. This is a knit weave. And this has a little bit more filtration looking than the other interfacing is, but any interfacing will work. So if you have some, if not, maybe Joann's is open. Anyway, so I'm going to take my interfacing. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to iron this piece of fabric because of the fact that it has been sitting for a little bit and it's kind of wrinkled. And I want a nice crisp pleat. So anyways, once I have that flattened back out and nice and pretty ready to go, I'm going to take my interfacing. I'm going to put the wrong sides together. And it'll give you directions on your interfacing. Then I'm going to take my iron and I'm going to hold and press. About 5 seconds for each spot. And then I'm going to just iron that back flat kind of thing, just to make sure there's no creases or bubbles or anything like that. Now I've cut mine a little bit bigger than 8 by 8 on my interfacing, so I'm going to trim that off real quick because I don't need it on there. I just need it on the felt or on the mask itself. I don't need it hanging from the edges. So I'm just going to trim that off real quick. And then also, as I'm doing this, if there's any uneven surfaces, I will trim that too, just to make it squared off. All right. So now that I have my interfacing on the front, this is the front of the mask. I'm going to take my white linen, and there's really not a wrong side to this, so I'm just going to put it together. So that way the right side of the fabric sticks out for your face. The right side of the fabric, if there was a right side of the fabric, would be on the outside to your face. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put those together, sandwich those together, and I'm going to drop down I'm going to start from the top, and I'm going to go down about 1 inch, and I'm going to make my first pleat. If you don't know how to make a pleat, it's very simple. You just bend the fabric over on top of each other, and it makes like a little lump kind of thing. I'm going to iron that out with some steam. So there's your pleat. If you can see, there you go. See, it just kind of creases it together, crinkles it together. So after that one, I'm going to go right underneath it, and I'm going to make a second pleat. And I'm going to iron that. Now, as your fabric shifts, you'll see it's going to start to go a little bit uneven on your back fabric to your front fabric, and that's okay. You can trim it up. It's not going to be the end of the world. You can pin as you go to keep it from sliding. I'm not pinning right now. I'm just showing you. But after each pleat, you can pin it just to give you that pleated, to keep your pleats from slipping, trying to pull back apart. So I've got mine done. And this is all pleated, ready to go. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this to the sewing machine. And I'm going to run a basting stitch on both sides, going from the top to the bottom. across those pleats to hold those pleats in. Once I do that, I'll meet you right back here. Okay, so I've got my basting stitches done. Let me just trim these threads off real quick. Basting stitches are done. My fabric has shifted some in the back, but that's okay. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to trim that off. I'm going to leave that, and that will go under the chin. So, and it's got the interfacing on the back, so it'll be fine. So we've got our pleats done now with our basting stitch. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take about a 7-inch piece of elastic. You can use 1/4-inch elastic, a little bit wider elastic. Just remember, it's got to go behind the ear, so it's going to be, the smaller it is, the better, more comfortable it'll be. So what I'm using is jewelry cord elastic, and I'm cutting about a 7-inch piece. I'm going to put it on the side of on the right side of your mask, on the back side. I'm going to fold that over to give myself a little hem, and it's probably a 3/8 seam allowance is what you want to go with. So we're going to fold that over. I'm going to put a pin in the middle. And then I'm going to bring this other end of the elastic. Oops, I see a thread. Nope, it wasn't attached. So the other elastic's going to come to the other side. And I'm going to fold that over on the end. Now I'm eyeballing the seams. I've been sewing long enough. I think I know, it's 3/8 of an inch seam. But you very well can get your seam gauge out and measure and make sure that you're at 3/8. You don't want to go more than 3/8 because you're taking from your mask when you do. All right. So what I've got is my elastic cord is pinned to the inside of my mask, and my mask is flipped over. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a zigzag stitch and go across, all the way across. And I use about a medium width stitch because you want it to cover that 3/8. So just about that. I'm going to do that, and I'll meet you right back here. Okay. So what I did was I folded that over. I gave that both of oops. Well, shoot. Now I got to go back and fix that. Okay. So we'll pretend it got hit with the zigzag stitch. I just wasn't close enough, I think. So anyways, once that's done, you'll have your one side done. And that's what's going to go behind the ear and then around to the face and everything like that. So what I do now, after I got my ends done, then I go to the top and I fold that down about 3/8 of an inch, 3/8 seam allowance. And then I give that a zigzag stitch around as well on both sides, both the top and the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zigzag stitch that. I'll be right back and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so what I've done, excuse me, I've got some loose threads I need to trim off here still. I folded that around. I put the jewelry cord in the ends and folded that over and did a zigzag stitch all the way. I folded this edge over, made a hem, made a seam, zigzag stitch. Same thing with this side, both ends folded over, pin it to keep your elastic in there. And there's your finished project. So it cups the face, under the chin, up across the nose. It's a little bit smaller of a mask than the one that I would, my size. Just if you want to go a little bit bigger, go to 9x9. That'll give you a larger size mask. Or if you want to go even smaller, you can go to like a 7x7. So this is if you don't have a serger. If you have a serger, then you're going to do the first steps that I showed you. You're going to put your interfacing, your front and back. You can pin this if you want. Come with me. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to use my hand and I'm going to hold it. And it keeps the pleats in place. So I'm going to serge my edges. I'm going to go all the way around the mask. For me, this is the easiest way, but I figured I'd show you both the couple ways of doing it. All right, so now my mask is serged. I used white thread so you could see this, okay? All I need is the elastic attached, right? All right, so I'm going to come over to my sewing machine. I'm going to use the same 7-inch piece of elastic, which is the elastic cord. Let me just show you that. Here you go. That's what I use. And it fits really good. All right. So instead of folding anything over, what I'm going to do, and it's simple and it's okay. If you don't like it this way, fold something over, whatever. But for me, I'm just going to take and lay this sideways like this. I would pin it if you need to. I'm going to put that under my presser foot. Let me just show you. Okay, so I'm put that under my presser foot, put my presser foot down, and then I'm going to zigzag stitch that. Let me just do that for you real quick. Let's change that zigzag to a smaller zigzag. Needle down. And I'm going to kind of hold on the feed dogs a little bit because I want it to make a nice thick zigzag. And I want to make sure that I cover that elastic, because if not, it'll pull right out. If it just goes over it, you need to actually pierce that going through. Anyway, so here's my little zigzag stitch holding this on. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. And then that's how I attach my ends. And then you have your mask. That one's really simple. Very, very simple to do. You can do a lot of masks that way if you have a serger. Again, not the coronavirus, just ex-smoker and a nasal problem. So that maybe helped you learn how to do a mask easy way. The other way isn't that hard. It just takes a little bit more time. Just remember, whatever you do, be healthy, be safe. God bless you, and stay tuned. You never know what else I'll be posting.